Welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to take apart a Garbaruk SRAM XD cassette. First we're going to start by taking off these 12 2.5 Torx retaining screws that hold the aluminium outer sprocket to the main body of the cassette. Next we need to remove the circlip from the top and push the internal part through the main body of the cassette. Okay, now for the tools you'll need a small pick, screwdriver and a 2.5 torque wrench. Okay, now for the spare parts you'll need two bushes. One goes inside the cassette, the other in the body of the main internal free hub. You need a circlip, and here's the internal part. All these parts come in a pack from Garbaruk. This is the main body of the cassette. It is threaded internally, so if you ever had a problem where you cross thread the cassette, it's no problem, you can just take that part out, replace it with this identical piece. And the other end of this is where the your cassette tool will go into. Okay, let's move those tools to one side. If you look through the main body of the cassette here, you can see the black internal part that we can replace. We're going to start by removing the 12 small 2.5mm torque screws that hold on the outer aluminium sprocket to the main body. Let's speed this up a bit. Be careful to retain the small little screws, they're a pain and you can quite easily lose them. I normally put them in a magnetic little tray. That's it, all 12 are removed. Now let's move them to one side. Now take a screwdriver and prise the aluminium sprocket away from the main body. Just gently put it in at each point where it attaches and it will just come off quite easy. Okay, take note on the steel body where you can see the attachments for each of the screws. Okay, let's get rid of the aluminium sprocket. Let's flip over the main body of the cassette, and now we need to take off the circlip. This is can be a bit of a pain, but you need to get the little tool underneath it to prise out the end of the circlip, and once you've done that you can remove the rest of it. Just gently work your way around. So I'm speeding up here. Just take your time. Be careful with your fingers when you get the last little bit off. Okay, so there's nothing holding the black internal part now into the actual main steel body, so just put it on the table and you can pop it out with your thumbs. You can see the white retaining bush inside here. And here's a better look at the tabs that hold the main aluminium sprocket onto the steel part. Here's a nice opportunity to actually look at the machining on the steel part. It's just stunning. You can see the recess here for the circlip on this side, and flip it over and you can see the plastic bushing on the other side. We're now going to remove that plastic bushing. Get your small screwdriver, get it under and just pop it out. Be careful not to stab yourself in the hand. Deforms a little bit, but it's quite easy to get it round again. Not that we're going to reuse this one, we've got the spare part. Let's just put that to one side. Now you can actually see inside the steel part and see where that bushing sits. Okay, let's remove the old parts and bring the new ones. Here's the main body and the two bushes and the circlip. Okay, so we need to take the larger of the two white bushes and push it into that groove inside the steel part of the cassette. It has a small lip on it and that goes down inside the cassette. Just push it in with your thumbs until you feel it's seated. There's no groove, it just won't go in any further. This little bush has a rounded edge too. The square side goes down, so The rounded side is on the outside, looking up at you. If you push it in with your thumbs, you'll feel its seat at the bottom. Okay, so the next bit's quite tricky. You need to hold the cassette proud of a surface so it's not sitting flat. I'm using a Hope seal tool here to sit the steel part of the cassette on, and then pushing the black part through, which is now proud of the cassette, so it sticks out higher. It's got a lip on it. Make sure you push it all the way through so there's room for the circlip to fit on. Take your time and work the circlip on with a small screwdriver. Okay, it's now time to put the aluminium sprocket back on. You'll notice that because of the shifting ramps on the front, on the steel part of the cassette, it has to line up with the tabs. So keep turning the aluminium sprocket until you find they all line up. Now for the tricky bit, to get all these 12 small little tourque screws back in. I find the best technique is to work a way around, put all 12 in, screw them up till they're almost touching, almost biting, then start doing it opposite. So tighten the first one up at 12, then at 6, then at 3 o'clock, then 9 o'clock, and work your way around so you're not talking just one part of the aluminium sprocket down in one go. It can be a little bit tricky initially to get the aluminium part to join with the steel, so if you put it in a vise and very gently squeeze it together, that seems to work fine. You only need to use very light pressure just to kind of get them popping together. Obviously do that bit before you start screwing everything together. Okay, that's it done. Right, so before you add it back onto your bike, add some thread lock to the black part and the thread inside of the cassette, and torque the cassette up to 45 Newton meters. Thank you for watching right to the end. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Please subscribe and like this video.